Welcome. My name is Jessica Brower, and I am an outreach counselor with the Wyoming Women's Business Center's COVID-19 support program. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about crowdfunding and is crowdfunding right for my small business? So before we get started, I just want to say thank you to the U.S. Small Business Administration, whose funds are why we're all here and we are able to offer this awesome program to the women-owned businesses throughout the state of Wyoming. So thank you, SBA. We're going to jump right in. So what is crowdfunding? Crowdfunding is the practice of sourcing small contributions from a large number of people to provide funding for a particular project or campaign, usually via the internet. So I'm sure you've seen crowdfunding before on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe, for products, projects, games, all sorts of things that have been wildly successful. What we're talking about is a little smaller scale, but the same concept. And fun fact, the Statue of Liberty was actually funded by a crowdfunding project, or part of the Statue of Liberty, not the whole thing. It being installed in New York City was part of crowdfunding way back when. So how does it work? Well, individuals or groups create a fundraising campaign, and that contains a specific funding goal and a timeline to fund a current project. And then supporters are able to contribute to the campaign financially and then are encouraged to share that campaign and their support for that campaign with their own community and social network via tools like social media, email, or just letting their friends know, hey, I saw this awesome thing and I supported it and you should too. And that's where the idea of harnessing the crowd really comes in. So where do I do it? I mentioned people do crowdfunding in lots of different platforms, but today I'm talking to you about the Local Crowd, which is who we've partnered with. And the Local Crowd is a crowdfunding platform that is community-based. They're located here in Laramie. It's a startup company that has been working with rural communities across the United States for about 5 years now. And we're very excited to be working with them. So you could take a look at some of the campaigns and a little bit more about what work they're doing by visiting thelocalcrowd.com. So here's just an example of what some of those campaigns may look like. So you'll see here that the amount of money raised is varying, everything from $14,000 to $2,000. We were going to encourage businesses to think about pretty small goals, something like $1,000, $2,000. These smaller goals are easier to reach, and they're a great way to connect with your audience and to really build solid relationships with your customers who are pre-existing, as well as people who are maybe interested in your company as you grow and scale your business and really start to develop an online presence. So who is it for? Who is crowdfunding for? Businesses looking to harness the power of their community, wherever that community may be. Right now, we're talking about Wyoming and whatever town you may be in. Connecting to their audience, so that is the people in their town, their customers, their partners, the people they're collaborating with, their friends, their family, their church groups, everybody who's rallying around them to support whatever product or service that they're bringing to the world. And lastly, to raise capital for a project, product, or service. So crowdfunding is a tool for raising funds, but as I mentioned, it's also a great tool for connecting with people and building relationships, which is something I really want to harp on, and I want you to take with you when you start to ponder, is crowdfunding right for me? Chances are you are offering a service or a product, and chances are you're trying to connect to an audience. Therefore, I could probably argue that crowdfunding could be for you in some shape or form. And why should I consider it for my goals? Well, we all know right now we're in very unique times. So in the face of the pandemic and the economic turmoil that we've seen because of that, many businesses are being forced to shift their outreach and their sales to online platforms in order to continue to provide their service or product to their community. Well, crowdfunding just happens to be an innovative and entirely virtual tool that's used for raising capital and building connections on the internet. So it's a really great opportunity to plug into your audience and reach them, whether they're at home or not, as they navigate this really unique landscape where we're not shopping and spending money the same way we were before because of concerns around health. So people are ready to show up for the businesses they love. This is a screenshot from some business campaigns in New Hampshire, and you'll see here that these are all small businesses who are just looking for smaller projects. So things like upgrading the electric service in a store, or installing a walk-in cooler at a permaculture farm. These are all relatively small goals, and you'll see here the donors, how many people are showing up to contribute a small amount of money to help these stores that they love continue to stay in business. So while many are not able to show up and spend money like they used to, some are still able to, and they want to support. So this is a really great tool to let your customers know, hey, we're still here, we could use your help. Let's build something together to keep this town, this community, a space that you love. So when am I ready for a successful campaign? I'm not going to lie to you, building a crowdfunding campaign does take a decent amount of work, but fortunately, we've got some tools for you. First up, we've partnered with Crowdfund Better, which is an agency in California, and they offer a free crowdfunding assessment and roadmap for you before you get started on a crowdfunding campaign. So this is usually a $95 value, but it's something that is covered by the WWBC's COVID-19 support grant. So you will get this for free. And this will be an opportunity to fill out a survey, and then you'll receive some information about where you're at in your business and your business goals, and what kind of work you need to do before you're in great condition to start a crowdfunding campaign that is successful. The folks at Crowdfund Better are really incredible. I've worked with them. I've been through this process before. It's very valuable, and it's full of robust information. So this is an asset that I would highly encourage you to consider. And then the local crowd, which is what I showed you some screenshots from before. This is the crowdfunding platform that we're using for hosting and for your educational cohort. So as I mentioned, the local crowd is a community-focused platform, and their hosting will be at no charge because of the grant, and you will be involved in an educational cohort or a small group of people who are working together to help build successful campaigns. So the local crowd has been researching successful crowdfunding for many years now, particularly in rural communities, and they have an education framework that is based on crowdfunding best practices from the studies of crowdfunding campaigns across the globe. Tens of thousands of campaigns. This information is really valuable and really supportive. There is a misconception often in crowdfunding that we build these campaigns and then all of a sudden money will just trickle in from nowhere. And the truth of the matter is there is a process and there is a framework, and that is exactly why we support you with this educational work. So moving forward, you'll work with the local crowd staff as well as the WWBC's counseling staff, probably me, and we will help you to build a campaign that's set up for success, because that's what we want. So how do I take advantage of these free tools? Step one, if you're not already, become a WWBC client to receive these free services, as well as the other free services that are available. Step number two will be to schedule an initial call with one of our counselors and to get your coupon code for your free crowdfund rapid assessment. So this is just a quick 15-minute call with me. We'll chat about your business goals, and we'll talk a little bit about any questions you may have about the process. And if we think it's a good fit, I'll send you the information to book this crowdfunding rapid assessment with the folks over at Crowdfund Better. After you get your resources from them, we will have a better idea of what kind of shape you're in, and if you are in a good place to start a crowdfunding campaign, or if you need to work on some things before you get there. So some things that you may need to work on are things like building your audience, building your list, just spending some time getting your website in shape, your social media in shape, just so when you build this campaign that all your ducks in a row and we can ensure that everything is as best as it can be so you can raise those funds. And then last but not least, you'll join your cohort and start building your campaign. So our first cohort starts on September 9th. And I'm very excited about this. We will kick it off on September 9th at noon. There will be a webinar where you'll get to meet some of the folks that you'll be working with. You'll be introduced to the educational materials. And then from there, you will be guided through a process to build your campaign. The local crowd staff, as well as myself, will be available to you to help build this out over the course of the next few weeks, as well as some open office times where you can pop into a Zoom chat room and ask questions with other folks who are building campaigns, with me, with the local crowd staff, and to help you troubleshoot before your big day when you launch your campaign. And then you'll launch your campaign. So if you want to learn a little bit more about this, or you want to sign up to be a WWBC client and you're not, you can find our website at wyomingwomen.org. The COVID-19 support program tab here has all of our services, and right here in the middle, you'll see that marketing, outreach, and crowdfunding, which is where you'll learn about what I'm chatting about today. So as I said, you can learn more at wyomingwomen.org. Or you can contact Veronica at this email address here to get started on the intake process to become a client, or to ask any questions or troubleshoot any troubles you may be having with accessing the program. So I'm very excited to start chatting with you over the next couple weeks to move you through these crowdfunding assessments and to hopefully see you in the cohort in September. Thank you so much.